Morry Taylor.
This Ken Walton,
better known as the Grizz. Welcome to GrizzNation. We got quite a news week this week with our...
GrizzNation is a politically incorrect zone. Got a problem with that? Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to talk to the Grizz.
Welcome, everybody.
welcome everybody. This is Ken Walton and Morry
Taylor,
the Grizz Taylor, coming to you live from Naples for GrizzNation.
Well, we're going to start off this week with the lady who wants power and money. That's all she cares about. Her name is Hillary. She allegedly, of course, with the Clintons, it's always the same, comes clean. She held a news conference this week, announced she turned over all the State Department emails to the government. And she deleted all of her personal emails. The plot does thicken, folks. Well, what do you got there, Walt?
Morry, we got a little brief clip that we found on the internet that we'd like to play for our viewers today. Can you roll that tape?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
I did not have
email
sexual
any
relations
classified
with that
material to
Ms.
anyone
Lewinsky.
on my email.
Morry, they sounded pretty similar on that tape there.
Well, I guess you can say that they've had an awful lot of experience practicing acting words. They're both lawyers, even though Bill was disbarred. Maybe when she gets done testifying, a felony charge will disbar her too. So I appreciate that she thinks she's over the law, you know, but just regular people, I don't know how anybody's going to keep buying this BS for her, but that's neither here. She's the sole judge and jury. What State Department emails were business and which ones were private. It's interesting if you break it down. Let's get down to some math. She was sending 22 private emails a day, 7 days a week, 365 for 4 years. And she averaged only 21 government-related emails during this period.
So let me get this right. She was averaging more private emails per day than she was work?
Oh, it's crazy. But I said in the opening, there's never anyone who is more power hungry than this woman and more grabbing for money. Even when she got an $8 million, she had enough gall to stand up and tell everybody she was broke when they left the White House. That's why they had to take a few things and give it back. I mean, you know, she says last week she turned over 90% of her emails, Clinton said. But Hillary stated it was less than 50%.
I think that was her spokesman said she's turned over 90%, but
Yeah.
Hillary says less than 50.
And she claimed the private ones of personal nature, including an email exchange with husband Bill. That's interesting. And Bill Clinton stated this week that he sent 2 emails in his whole life. 2. And they didn't go to his wife. I'll tell you who one went to. Jennifer Flowers, okay? And the other one went to Monica. So we got that one straight. She says her private emails were deleted, so no one can have access also to her private servers. She claims she only used a private email account because she just wanted to carry one phone. And then she goes on and they ask her, Hillary, Android or iPhone?
Morry, we actually have a
iPhone
clip.
plus BlackBerry.
Morry, we actually have a clip of that conversation. Can we roll that clip?
I want to ask the big question. Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone. Okay, in full disclosure,
BlackBerry.
and a BlackBerry.
Morry sounds like she's gotten pretty used to using 2 different phones.
Well, I'll tell you, Ken, you have to think about that laughter from the audience. Man, those are dumb people. I mean, how could you sit there? I mean, it's disgusting. No wonder that, we got what we got, There's a lot of dumb people, all right? It's sorry, but this shows how bad the educational system is in this country for those to keep buying the same dumb. The good news.
Well, but maybe she needs 2 phones now to get all those calls from those foreign governments to give those donations to their foundation.
Well, she's already decided, I think, now that she's going to come up with something new.
Oh.
So there's no trace, okay?
Oh.
It's just, they're going to get the money somewhere. We got Tariq Gallery, the Republican from South Carolina. He's got a special committee on Benghazi. So he's going to try to get her in to testify once or twice. That'll be a real show again.
He says he's going to testify bring her in to testify not but once, but twice.
Yeah, well, the problem, you have to have her twice because whatever she says the first time, she's going to contradict the second time. And it's simple. If you look at everything, they don't believe the rules are for them. Laws are for common people. I mean, you talk about people who need to go out and stay out of the government purse, they do it. I mean, what's really funny, she spent all of her time, look at how bad things are in the world. She spent all of her time. All right, you got a tweet coming in.
We got a tweet from Daniel on Twitter. He says, does Hillary know that the nuclear football is a second electronic device? Could be a problem at 3 a.m., huh?
No, because she couldn't answer the phone. All right, that's her problem. She is probably, our current president was incapable. You can just look at what's happened to this country to be president, but he made it 2 terms. So the second time, there was there's a lot of Americans that just got, they got hoodwinked. And I'll tell you this, all the unions that backed them and put the money to them, they're paying a heavy price, and they'll pay a bigger price with Hillary.
Yeah.
So,
Morry, but before we get into that next one, we haven't told our folks how to get in touch with us because we love to get their phone calls.
You call us at 855-984-7499. That's again, 855-98-GRIZZ, Grizz. You give us a call, and whether you agree or you don't agree.
We'd love to hear from you.
We're going to try to convince you, or you try to convince us. All right? The next one, what will the Democrats do they have no choice but Hillary. You stop and think about what's going on. You know, there's no other Democrats to jump into it. They say, oh, you know, let's take a look at their bench. Normally, a sitting vice president has the shot to be the logical choice. But even the Democrats, they know there's no way in God's green earth Joe Biden could be taken seriously.
Uncle Joe?
Uncle Joe, just lying Joe. And he wouldn't know. And he thinks that he's got us, you know, right while they're on stage. I mean, how dumb can he be? And he's trying to fondle women. I mean, it's crazy. So, and then you've got, though, who has announced, Bernie Sanders. He's a senator from Vermont, but he's a devout socialist.
Well, that'd be what we got now, isn't it?
Well, we got more of them. And then you got former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley. But for you who don't know who in the hell he is, he raised taxes so much in Maryland that state was totally Democratic, and a Republican won this time, and they're all in shock. And the Republican, he wants to do away with all the tax increases. The problem he's got is all the poor Democrats that were elected, they fit right in with the group, you know? And then and they talk about Elizabeth Warren. Well, Elizabeth Warren is probably so far left of Obama.
They call her a progressive, Morry.
No, she ain't no progressive. And, you know, let's face it, we got a lot of these people come out of Massachusetts, so we don't need any more. Now, they can blame Obama. Obama's governing from the left, okay? Our midterms from 2010 and 2014, you know, the Democrats aren't around. They never
got
had
trounced.
a chance.
They got trounced in both of those midterms.
You look at the Democratic leaders, what do you got? Dick Durbin from Charlie Schumer out of New York. Durbin's out of Illinois. I mean, these people are so far out of touch.
Yeah, but they're also old, Morry. They don't have any young.
Well, I don't nail about the old guys. I'm older than them, and I don't think I'm old, okay? Might look it, but I'm not. Talk for yourself. Anyhow, you know, we got a lot of young guns, and they are pretty good. So at least the public has some choices to make, and we got some great governors, too. So Hillary, you know, I think they're going to have to, but it's because no one else is stepping up. No other qualified good Democrats are stepping up. And it's a shame. You got Webb from Virginia, and at least that man was in service, and he's of the conservative side Democratic Party, but they're not going to vote him in.
So you're saying, you're projecting here, because they have no bench, that no matter what Hillary does, they're going to back her to the hilt. That's just that's a foregone conclusion.
I think it's a long time between now and the vote. I think that it's going to be a slaughter if they put it to her. I mean, she can have all this money. But the American public, you know, after 8 years of lying through Obama and administration, we're going to have the most transparent, you know, government ever. Yeah. Well, we found out how that was. And it's terrible. The other thing that came into the news, you got a tweet here?
We got a tweet and a caller. Which one do you want to take first?
Give us a call.
John, South Texas, do you have a question for us?
I sure do. I'm calling to see if the Grizz has ever had the opportunity to meet Hillary. She's had such a rugged last couple of weeks and has really kind of shown herself to the American public. Has he ever had the opportunity to meet her? And I'd like to know what his thoughts are on Hillary.
Yes, I have met Hillary. And I was at a table with her. And she, I sat there because I was a guest at the table of 10. And she was there. They paid her $300,000 to come and speak to us. We're all a bunch of CEOs and our wives. And she's She's not a very tall lady. Okay.
Okay.
And she.
What was she like to
She's
converse
got-
with? I mean, was
Oh,
she?
they're pros.
Yeah,
They
I
can
mean,
they
was
can
she
talk
friendly?
about
Was
anything.
She rude? Was she short? Was she brusque?
The what now?
He wants to know: was she rude? Was she? You know,
No. But when I started asking her some questions,
Uh-oh.
I cut all the BS out. You see, so her comment to
yeah.
the table to my wife was, "Oh, your husband's from the dark side." So I asked her a real simple question. And I said to her, why do you politicians never change the law in reference? If you think about Sandy, you think about all the storms and our military cannot help. It's against the law. And she started going back about this is how the war and everything else back in Revolution. I says, no, that's BS. I said,
Morry, we're going to have to come back to this. We're going to break.
well, wait a minute. We can always govern when we're going to go
Owner
break,
of the Made in
Ken.
America store.
I'm on a roll.
Together,
Hang on,
help
Big
grow our
John. We'll be
economy
back
and
with
create
you.
Jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400 plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in Grizz Nation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road load and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you. The Grizz. Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Scrape that Washington off your shoes, pull up a chair, and dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join the conversation with The Grizz.
Nah. Before we went to that break, we were talking about with John down in Texas.
Is he still with us, John? Are you still with us? I guess we lost him during the break. But.
John's question was, had I ever met Hillary?
Mm-hmm.
My answer is yes. Okay. And she is a pro at not answering questions directly. So you ask her a question, and she'll give you a laugh or something. And then if she's going to go off and she answered my question, she answered it wrong. So I says, I stand to correct you because what you just said was wrong. And I went and told her that it was after the Civil War, and they passed that because of the situation of trying to get appeasement down there and keep the military out. So she turned around and she says, well, I guess that could be, and then she goes on that we have everything and blah, blah. And the way she went, then she takes another question. So she's good at that, but my wife went and had a picture with her. She looked at my wife, and of course I didn't. And it's, oh, you're the wife of the one from the dark side. Right? Yeah, I'm the one that's going to bring her and tell her, hey, it's wrong. And they don't have a clue. She is a lawyer. She's been trained. She's an actress. But you look, she was Secretary of State, folks. She didn't obey the law. And now she's saying that, do you know it's a felony to have any classified documents? You got a 4-star general had just
You're talking
copies.
about General Petraeus.
Petraeus had it in his deal. He had to plead to a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Well, Obama didn't like what he wrote in his book, so they went after him. Well, you just sit there and think about her. Her to tell you, an American public, in 4 years, she never got an email or sent an email. If she sends one to the president, if she sends one to the military, that's confidential, folks.
Classified.
Classified by law. And if
Morry, I thought her wording there was kind of interesting. She said she never sent one, but that doesn't mean classified information wasn't sent to her, which would be also be a violation if she...
It's also a violation, and it's a felony, okay? Now, Obama's not going to do nothing at this point, okay? Yeah. But that's where it at. Now you got a tweet here.
Yeah, we got a tweet on Hillary, too. Gerald from Nashville says, Hillary didn't even seem to try all that hard in her press conference. Is that pure arrogance, or is she just not really fired up for this whole presidential thing? What do you think, Morry?
Well, I think what she's doing is the same thing they've always done, but they were a lot younger, and I think that she's gonna have a hell of a time matching her husband.
I don't think she's got the skills that he does in that area.
She doesn't have them. Everybody knows she's a vicious, mean woman, okay? And she is the one that is so money hungry and power hungry. She was, and that's why she'd go through the marriage. It didn't matter how many women Bill had, as long as it advanced her deal. An Irish girl like my wife, he had been shot, okay? Not just simple or run over, okay? But that's why I stay in line. Now,
Michelle, by the way, is a very sweet woman, by the way.
Anyhow,
That's
our
his
next
wife.
thing we got to cover is in Ferguson. And it's, double police shootings. Seriously wounded Thursday morning at a peaceful protest in front of the police station. A sniper fired 3 to 4 rounds. Hit 2 of the officers. They're still searching for the gunman. And this is simple. This is because, everybody, Eric Holder, our attorney general, even the president. And the president never even wanted to say too much. It's just bad that this happened, He could not come down. Do you think they call those families? No. Everything. But the joke is, the report came out and it backed in Ferguson, that police officer. Mm-hmm. There were no hands up. Brown was a punk. And yeah, he might have been doped up. Is it terrible he cost him his life? Yeah. But he tried to take a gun from an officer. All right? So,
and he just committed armed robbery.
And it is just terrible, that you listen to the people in Ferguson, the young people, the interview, and, we don't believe all that. We had hands. They're going on and on. Let me tell you something. The big problem is our educational system. If they're getting all that BS in school, that's a real problem. And the parents, and you sit there and, burn this baby down. Well, why don't we think about something? Anybody ever tell you all the elected officials in Ferguson are Democrats? Why don't you look at New York, where you had 2 cops blown away? Never happened when Bloomberg or Giuliani. No. It only happens when the Democrats. Because the Democrats turn around and they got this false imagination. I'm getting ticked off, so I better watch what I say. But anyhow, they just can't leave it alone. Because why? Democrats want to have everything in a racist way. That's why, and it's a joke. We got to get rid of all this stupidity, and we got to just say, you're either an American or you're not an American. That's something. Everybody can understand that. Who the hell gives a damn about color of skin, color of
Well,
hair?
you're really skipping over Eric Holder here. I thought you were going to bash
Eric Holder is bad news. Eric Holder has been the worst attorney general we've ever had. And you know something? Why talk about him? He's resigned. They got
Not left yet, though, but I think they're going to vote next week.
You think he's running it now? He's running around doing his speeches like them all. He's lining up to go speak to everybody. People are going to pay him money. But sure the hell ain't going to be me. They ain't going to get no ticket. I won't go see him. I think he's been a disgrace. Okay?
If you'd like to talk to us about Eric Holder or anything involving this Ferguson incident, please give us a call, 855-984-7499, or send us a tweet. We'd be happy to get you on the air.
And then the next item, the gift that keeps on giving.
Uh-oh.
This is
I know what that
Obamacare, folks.
is.
It continues to cost, and cost more. The full impact. Now, they don't want to tell you about this, you see, but the Congressional Budget Office came out with the premiums, and they've told everybody they're going to increase 8.5% for the next 3 years. 11.7 million Americans are on Obamacare. Not the 30 million they said there would be there, 11.7. Now that means you're paying $400 a month today, you're going to pay $513 in 3 years. The increases are the results of the healthcare market.
But they're higher than the healthcare market. That 8%, the healthcare industry isn't going up 8.5% a year.
But you see, when they go and get it, it gets billed, part of it gets to the state and the subsidies. They got this thing all crooked in. If you people think, well, how to get this in, Obama cut special deals. He cut special deals with insurance companies. And it's nuts. We could drop and increase and make our health care better. And trust me, it's one of our biggest expense. We got 3,000 boys. I can tell you a lot about it, but we ain't got enough time on this air. The total cost of the program is lower than projected when the law was passed, because the projections of how many would sign up were overly optimistic. So they anticipated all these people, but you didn't get them. So you got these other. So we got to pay more for those in it, because what you're saying, the other, they're beating the hell out of them. So hopefully the Supreme Court will gut this bad law when it comes.
What do you think the odds are? I mean, you kind of heard their questions after the arguments. And
well, first of all, it took the Supreme Court Chief Justice to come up with something out of the moon to save Obamacare before. And this part of the law is unconstitutional too, because it's written right there. So they want to make that, okay, court, yeah, that's what Congress said, but you write the law. And that's not what they're supposed to do, but I don't know. They might just go ahead and do it. So it is a little bit goofy what they're doing. And, but that's how it is. So we got to go from there. The next one we're going to talk about, if you don't believe that's enough, here's a little bit more on Obamacare. While Hillary was all captive in the news cycle, so what do we got? The Obama administration, anything bad, they want to leak it while everybody's watching Hillary, okay? Can't miss her. She takes up the whole thing. So what's happening? 86% of the people that have enrolled for Obamacare are going to get subsidies.
Are getting subsidies. So
they get them, yes.
Us taxpayers are paying.
That equates to 10 million Americans getting another handout. If you're eligible, you got to earn between $47,000 and $97,000. That's
Wait a minute.
For a family of four.
$47,000 if you're an individual, and if you're a family of four, you can make up to $97,000. That sounds like a lot of money to get a subsidy.
Well, it's pretty good, you know. So the average is $300 a month. That means $3 billion a month, or $36 billion a year
in subsidies.
Where the hell? Where are you going to get the money, folks? Where are we going to get the money? You already got a deficit, you know, but it gets worse. Why? There's none of these people that you're electing that really understand 2 plus 2 is 4. It doesn't equal 6. All right? You'd think that we imported all the Greeks over here to run our friggin' government. So, anyhow, that's the Obamacare. Now let's switch over. We got a break coming up. But when we get back from the break, we're going to go into this federal judge down in Texas. Now, this is a guy that turned around and put the, he put the stay on Obama's immigration, granting amnesty. And he is ticked off.
He ought to be, but give us a call, 855-984-7499.
Hi, I'm Mark Antle, owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Soon this little baby I'm singing to sleep will start to walk. Before I know it, I'll be dropping her off at school, beaming when she walks up to accept her diploma, or holding back tears as she takes those big steps down the aisle. But before she takes all those steps, she and thousands like her will need you to take yours. Join March for Babies to help make her steps possible. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Hi, I'm Julie Bowen, asking you to walk with me in March for Babies. Too many children in our country are being born prematurely or with birth defects. They have to fight to survive every day, but you can make a difference. Your steps in March for Babies can help them take their first steps. Visit marchforbabies.org to start your team and raise money to ensure that babies are born healthy. Let's walk together for stronger, healthier babies.
You're listening to Grizz Nation with Morry the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join in on Common Sense Talk Radio, coming right at you in 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. I was telling you about the federal judge. This federal judge is Judge Hanson. And if you remember, he's the one that put the stay. Telling the... And Obama's lawyers were telling the federal judge that there were no embassy applications being granted before he issued the stay.
Yeah, he asked twice. He didn't ask just one time. He asked them twice.
And then what happened, the lawyers then, after he had issued the stay and everything, admitted it came out that 100,000 applicants had been in a fast-track program while the judge was considering the stay. Now,
so they snuck through 100,000.
They snuck through 100,000, and so the judge, he is not happy. He has delayed ruling on the temporary stay until he does an investigation why these 100,000 were granted embassy. Now, this means you cannot, when you're asking for a temporary stay, you cannot turn around and appeal it why he's still investigating. So it's going to be delayed a little longer because he wants to know from Obama's lawyers, the same ones that swore to him, nothing was being done. You start lying to a federal judge. Now, maybe Obama and the White House, his people, they think this is, oh, we'll sneak by it. He's only a little federal judge, you know. Well, they're not going to get nothing because, you see, he isn't going to be ignored. Good Texas man. So he has a hearing for March 19th, and Obama's lawyers have to be able to explain how they lied. Now, I'm going to tell you how they're going to explain it. Well,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, we asked, Your Honor, and nobody told us. So we reported to you what they told us, okay? I mean, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We're very sorry, Your Honor. We didn't want any disrespect or anything to this court. They can listen to this bullshit. And meanwhile, back at the White House, they're all laughing. No, they'll take that. I don't think he's going to take it. I think he's going to turn around and he's going to ask for emails. He's going to ask for everything else. And he's going to put the sweat to these lawyers. And I think he's going to tell them. He's going to tell these government lawyers that they better get them this information. They don't get them this information. They screw around. He's going to hold them in contempt. And if he holds them in contempt, he'll probably stick them in a prison. Now, if he's really good, he'll stick them in one of those prisons that, you know, got a lot of the illegal aliens that were the bad gangsters. They'd have more fun with those guys. But that's where we're going. We got a tweet.
We got a tweet from Ralph on Twitter. He's back on Eric Holder, and he says, Eric Holder never understood that laws were meant to be enforced equally, not picked and chosen because you didn't like some of them.
Well, I happen to agree with you, but I think it's a little bit different when it comes to Eric and these...
and Obama.
But there's so many that come out of the elite colleges now. And what really bugs me is they call them the elite colleges because they all come out thinking they are smarter than everybody else, okay? I mean, they're so smart. They want to think that our forefathers were dumb, okay? They really didn't know what they were doing, but now they do, all right? And they understand. Well, we've had 6.5 years now. Let me tell you something. They're really dumb, okay? The elitists, if you look every country in the world, find a country that's ever been built with the elitists. They've never been able to build a damn thing in this world. That's a fact. They've been able to destroy it, but they've never built it. And talking about immigration, we got some facts for you. The Migration Policy Institute released its most recent compilation of immigration statistics compiled from government data. In 2013, there were 11.4 million illegal immigrants in the U.S.
That's a lot of folks, Morry.
Yeah, not surprising. Most of the illegal immigrants reside in California, Texas, New York, and Florida.
Right here in Florida.
Now, the percentage of foreign-born workers in the U.S. labor force has more than tripled in the last 4 decades, from 5% to 17%. Immigrants and their U.S.-born children account for 25% of the total population.
Wow.
And if you think about it, the number of refugees admitted to the U.S. increased nearly 20% from 2015 to 2013.
2012 to 2013, it went up 20% in 1 year?
That's what it went.
Wow.
Now, there's no question that we're a country of immigrants, but we also are a nation of legal immigration. We need to secure our borders, review all of our policy. Our economy simply can't absorb this influx. Immigrants more than tripled. Let's have our caller. We got a caller on the line.
We got a caller, Nick from New York, wants to talk about Hillary. Nick, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just wondering, it seems that you either love Hillary or hate her, and nothing she does seems to change that. Do you think there's enough that might like her enough to get her elected?
Well, the first thing, I say that you're right. There is a certain segment that no matter what, they're just totally lost. They're like fans watching a movie star, okay? So you got some groupies out there that just love Hillary. Even if you were to try to tell them what the lady wants to do, they don't understand that, but they don't care. So you're right about that. And there's others who just, can't fathom why everybody is so infatuated, and it's a news media. I can't understand the news media. When you sit there and look, and you say to them, okay, what has this lady done? Well, she moved from Arkansas. At the Rose Law Firm, there's a lot of questionable dealings. She was the wife of a sitting president, and she went out and spoke a lot. And if you remember, when he ran in the deal about Jennifer Flowers, she was real quick to the song. If her husband had done any of that, do anybody think she would stick by her man? No way. She'd be gone. What a lie that turned out to be. And you just go through the whole thing. And then what happens, he decided to let her have health care. That he had to reverse on that because she would have made Obamacare look good. All right? So you go through, and then she moved to New York for she could run for senator. And they elected her. But you look at the mayor of New York today. You look at your senators from New York. So, hell, that's nothing that they elect her. Nothing on Massachusetts, you elect Elizabeth Warren. I mean, paying her to teach one subject at Harvard, 300 and some thousand.
Yeah, Morry, but I think the question from the caller was, is there enough to get her elected?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think what's happened is I think you're going to end up with a lot of voters real remorseful, as we talked about earlier. They don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
Who else you got? The only one I think that could step up and probably take the nomination for is Moonbeam. I think California Moonbeam.
He's older than you, Morry. He's 77 years old.
But he's Moonbeam,
He's talking about Jerry Brown, folks, from California for you.
If you guys don't know who Moonbeam is, you're really uninformed voters. Hey, he just won again.
Yeah.
So Moonbeam could probably, he's run for president a number of times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want a guy that's got a name recognition, who else you going to run? So, but back to you. We got another caller?
We got another caller, and we got another tweet, but I guess we'll go to Sharon in New York. Sharon, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. My question about Hillary Clinton, didn't Hillary Clinton violate national security with having those documents stored in an unsecured location, and why isn't anybody talking about prosecuting her?
Well, the first thing is, yes, I do believe she violated a lot of laws, okay? And I also believe she's destroyed government records, which is a felony too, when she wiped everything. Why do you think she wiped everything? Plus, she was supposed to turn everything over when she left and sign the forms. Nobody said diddly on that. Well, do I think Eric Holder or Obama? No. But I do believe first of all, that there's no limit. So they're going to have to go out to try to win the White House. The Democrats are really strong because the next guy, if he lets the law go, there are going to be a lot of those people that are going to be having trials. Okay? I don't think you can wipe it all unless when Obama leaves, he'll probably grant them all pardons, just like
Bill did.
Husband Bill did. But I truly believe, and I also do, that she knew this too. She knew what she was doing. She was running around with that big jet, the millions and millions of dollars. Everybody thought, oh, she's running all around. But if you listen to her, she's not running around for America's business. She's a money-hungry power woman, baby. That's all she thinks about. She don't give a damn if she's got to shoot a bunch of people. So anyhow, that's what's going on.
We'll be right back. We're going to break, but give us a call at 855-984-7499. Grizz loves to get your calls, and we'd love to talk whether you agree or disagree. Give us a call.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in Grizz Nation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road lope and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
We got a tweet now, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. No Bull Talk Radio with Morry the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join in. Stand by for the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. And if you want to call us at 855-984-7499. Well, Ken, we got a tweet.
We got a tweet from, let me see who it's from. Nova on Twitter says, Morry, thank you. What part of illegal is not understood?
Well, it's understood by everyone who's not a lawyer and who's not a Democrat. The Democrats happen to believe that, they don't have to obey. The laws are only for the Republicans, I guess. So anyhow, eventually it comes back to haunt them. If anybody watched Hillary's press conference, I actually, tell you the truth, I felt sorry for her.
Really?
Because she's up there, she's trying to lie, she's trying to think of everything, how to say it, how to lie, and then get her in, and she's looking around, and you can just tell her, man, That's what happens. You get rats cornered, they're looking for a way out.
So you felt, Morry the Grizz Taylor felt sorry for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, because, let's face it, folks. The old gal ain't what she used to be. That's what old Bill said, too. Okay? Let's move on to Obama and Iran bashing the Republicans.
Well, that's kind of a strange alliance there, Obama and Iran.
This is so stupid, folks. You got 47 Republican senators sent a letter over to the Ayatollah or wherever the hell, the supreme being or whatever he is. He's got that thing wiped around his head. And basically the letter just said, here's our 47 signatures, and this agreement will not be ratified as it is. So you want you to put on notice by our Constitution that it would only serve as long as the president is in office. Obama said it's somewhat ironic to see some members of Congress wanting to make common cause with hardliners in Iran. This is a guy that's been talking to him since he was elected, 6.5 years, right? They're the ones that have been blow up. Does he ever think about it? If he wanted to do anything, he should have blown them up. In fact, they should have taken all of that nuclear out 6.5 years ago. And I don't want to hear everybody, oh, that's war, that's war. Come on, folks, get serious. Do you ever remember about Iraq? Remember Saddam Hussein? He had the 4th largest army in the world. They were so bad. You want to hear the same Democrats back then? All the same elitists. Oh, this is going to be Vietnam. This is everything. No, because you put the military in charge. How long was it, folks? Do you have any knowledge? I'll tell you. It was like 30 days. They were just totally annihilated.
Well, and then we
found him in Iraq. Yeah. And then what'd we do? We leave and give it to Iran. Iran's running around with them. They're fighting ISA. They got 20-some thousand troops out there. And what's ISA got? 1,000? I mean, and they're still blah, 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 blah. Come on, Let's not make warriors out of them when they're not warriors. It's a little sickening, to be honest about it. Now, back to this letter. It's really funny that Iran sponsors terrorism all over the Middle East.
Yeah.
They've been doing it. And they team up with Obama to bash the U.S. Senate. It's such a joke. It's a bad deal. And when you think about it, they've been exporting all the terrorism and everything, and we're going in the wrong thing. And the Republican senators, God bless them. They did do something, okay? But, you think about it. You want to know how bad managed, how bad run, everything in the government. We're going to talk about how people lost faith in the government. It is at record low. But think of a valuable, our Secret Service. Now, I've spent a lot of years on this earth. Never in the history of the Secret Service that I've known have you seen all this crap. They're like the Keystone Cops.
Yeah, they are.
And it's not right. 2 high-ranking Secret Service agents are under investigation. Apparently, they got drunk at a party and then driving a government car. Of course, we got over 300,000 government cars that all of us paid for.
I don't get to ride
back to the White House, crashed through the barricade, and my question is, if they drove through and crashed through the barricade, why weren't they shot? What are we going to do? Go look to see who they are? Get close to it and have the thing blow up? I mean, come on. Where is this whole thing? And what it is, because none of them know how to run anything. They don't know how to manage. You want to know why we got people in pornographic sitting there, can't fire them? You want to know why you got all these parties going on? Because you, our fellow citizens, have elected these bozos, okay? I'm calling them bozos. And that's just because it's not right if I swear, okay? And now that I'm thinking, we got a caller.
Now we got caller and tweets, but let's go to the caller in Chicago. Wants to talk about Obamacare. Are you with us?
I'm with
Ben.
you.
Ben from Chicago.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. So my question was, I thought Obamacare was supposed to be affordable, but isn't it true that costs keep going up and costing us taxpayers more and more?
Well, that is 100% true. And the reason it's going to go up, and up, because they just decided to pass a law. And when you write a law that's 2,000 pages thick, that means all you have done is just turn this thing to total chaos, which means you have created something that will turn around in the trillions of dollars be sucked on until you just squash it out and get practical. And you got all the insurance companies are in it. And so, as we mentioned earlier, there's $36 billion just for 10 million. You got to remember, you're going to insure over 300 million people. Where in the hell are you going to get all this money? And why do you think all the insurance companies, remember how Obama and the Democrats were banging on the insurance companies? Hell, they're guaranteed. They can't lose money now. Hell, it's sickening what they've done. And they just lied. You want to keep your doctor? You can keep your doctor. They knew from day one you couldn't. They wanted all of this. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to make the insurance business so expensive and ruin our insurance so that we have a national health plan that they're going to tell you will solve everything. You do not understand. Most people don't understand. Obama, the Clintons, all the Democrats are turning around and they want to see the insurance. They just want to bring the country down. I'm going to talk about in a few minutes about our trade policy. Folks, it was Hillary and Bill who gave favored nation to China back in, I think it was 93. That allowed them to ship goods into the U.S. with no tariffs or duties. You can't ship stuff to them unless they want it. So when you do that and their wage is $5, here, go buy Forbes magazine, look at the billionaires, and you take a look at 93, how many were in China? 0. Go look at India. They didn't have any. You look today, and the ones in the U.S. are just money exchangers to a big extent. So you got to have jobs. You got to have jobs. Everybody can't be a doctor, an engineer. And we know we got way too many lawyers, okay? We got more lawyers than the whole world put together. We can't export them. That's a problem. But it was a lie. It's been a lie. And yes, you're going to pay more, and you're going to get worse service. It's sickening. Here, we're in Quincy, Illinois. Another company in Quincy with approximately 1,000 people, we put our own clinic in. And we pay a third party to administer and run it. We have a doctor they have in their clinic. And we're going to save money. You know how much my employees, when they go to see the doctor or they get their medicine through the clinic, what it's going to cost them? Nothing. Nothing.
So Titan's picking up those costs.
Yeah. But what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. You see, because there's a loophole. Trust me, the insurance companies will want us to stop. That will happen. And the government, they don't want that. Don't ever think they're thinking of you. That's how our forefathers were smarter than any professor you'll ever meet in any college today, or any government fellow, or any politician. They knew there was, every state was its own. All the federal government was going to do was in between to manage. They wrote, that's where your Bill of Rights. Read the friggin' Constitution. Look at the Independence, Bill of Independence. 56 men signed it. They signed their own death warrant. Go to Washington and see how many would do that. Now, they never wanted to have all the power. We got to talk about Kerry in a minute. And I'm just telling you, you know, Ben, you just got to, it's a bear. It's a bear for my grandkids coming up and everybody else. And it's a shame. But with that, I want to finish up about our Secret Service now. I took that call. So we got a president who turns around and he tells the Border Patrol to ignore the law. Chief Executive ignores the Constitution. Attorney General, he injects race into everything. So, you know, if Secret Service is going to hell, everything else eventually will go to hell. The only thing we've got to hang on for about 18 months. All right? So,
we're going to break, and please give us a call, 855-984-7499.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Are you tired of so-called experts telling you what to do all the time? You may be considering a mortgage to purchase or to refinance a home. Or if you're 62, you might be considering the government's reverse mortgage program. Well, don't believe everything you hear. Take your own action and call today for a free guide filled with up-to-date information on mortgages, home purchasing, renewing reverse mortgages, and credit restoration. The guides are free and full of facts you need to know. The Center for Sound Consumer Advice is dedicated to keeping you informed. Still the only consumer advocacy referral service in America where since 2004, there's never been a fee and never, ever even one complaint. Call today for your free mortgage guide. Call 800-593-6405. That's 800-593-6405. Call today for your free mortgage guide. Again, that's 800-593-6405.
Looking for a way to enjoy your MP3 music without seeing messy wires? The in-dash Sony DSX digital media receiver features an integrated USB tune tray that lets you connect, store, and control your MP3 player behind the sleek flip-down faceplate. Now you can enjoy great audio quality for your music without visible wires. Plus, the Bluetooth technology provides hands-free phone access and streaming audio ability. Learn more at sony.com/DSX. No need to run around anymore searching for auto parts. At PartsMatrix.com, we do all the legwork for you, saving you time and money. And it couldn't be easier. When you send a request using our simple, secure online form, we get right to work searching our network to find OEM parts, aftermarket, refurbished parts and accessories, recycled auto parts, and more. We get back to you in a jiffy with the pricing and shipping options, too. Check out our website, PartsMatrix.com, for all the best parts at the best prices. PartsMatrix.com. Save money, drive happy.
Imagine a huge stadium filled to capacity and you're on the field with a microphone with an important life-changing message, but only 60 seconds to announce it. what would you say? If you want people to listen and take action, you need a message that's well thought out, attention-getting, and convincing. That's where Radioactive Media comes in. We're the experts in harnessing the strengths of radio advertising to craft a powerful message for your business. We create hard-hitting, profitable campaigns that air on the top local and national radio programs, reaching potentially millions of new customers. Whether you're a Fortune 500 company with a weekly budget of hundreds of thousands of dollars or a well-funded and financed new startup with a budget as low as $8,000 a week, we can help. Give us a call for a free marketing analysis at 800-559-RADIO. Radio is one of the most cost-effective means to reaching your customers. Call 800-559-RADIO. That's 800-559-RADIO. 800-559-7234. Or on the web at radioactivemedia.net.
It's the Grizz Nation. No retreat talk radio with businessman Morry the Grizz Taylor. Tired of a dead economy? Expect more from America? Tell it to the Grizz.
Welcome back, folks. We got a special segment, and we start at the top of the hour. In our second hour, we call them the Grizz Growls. And this, Morris, what you got you going this week?
Well, if that's not enough, now we even get more reference to how much money. We talked about this last week, talked about the week before. But they're going to get their back taxes. Each family's going to get returned $35,000. This is illegals now. We're talking about the illegal immigrants. We told you about the Obama's lawyers lying to a federal judge when they said nothing, there hadn't been anything done, and they got 100,000 of them in. So this week, we even found out there's more goodies. The Easter Bunny is coming for all, right? That's right. Social Security Administration admitted to a Republican senator that illegals will be eligible for old age survivors' disability insurance as direct results of Obama's action. The SSA says they project on this project, 16,000 would be eligible in 2017, could top out in 40 years, just under 700,000.
So regardless if they paid in or not.
So listen to all of you that are my age that can collect Social Security. You got to understand, they're going to go broke. There ain't no way. And he's trying to bust the country. That's what it is. They're going to be broke. So then who's going to come up with the money? You know, maybe we'll have to turn around because you're going to have so many government workers. So we'll just cut all their pensions. Anyhow, number 2, illegals to get the tax benefits, which we just told you about. But Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican, introduced legislation to prevent some of these illegals from getting a tax benefit. Grassley said the ability to claim back tax credits for illegal work represents a loophole in the law Congress never intended. But you know, all the judges trying to make Obamacare, we're going to plug that loophole. We'll just do it. Okay? But they don't want it plugged, the Democrats. So the Republicans are going to. Unfortunately, the Democrats are controlling with their, since we only have 54 senators, and Obama is going to put his pen out and veto it, you see? It is terrible. It's terrible.
Morry, I thought the whole concept behind this earned income tax credit was to encourage work.
Yeah, well, there's a whole thing, Ken, and if you're listening to this, you'll understand what we understand and what Obama and his, we don't want the country to go to hell. They do. Another giving away. He just, college students. You know, when we put the program out and you give all this money, the guy's ripping everybody off for colleges. Obama doesn't want to screw with the colleges. Well, they better screw with them, and they better get their head out of the sand. You know, teaching bats and weaving, all this other BS. First thing, he wants them so that if they can't pay it back, go bankrupt, and then it's forgiven. 25% of all student loans are in default today.
That's today.
Now, the Treasury and Education departments are looking to see what changes to the bankruptcy laws. It's very difficult now in bankruptcy to discharge them. In fact, it's damn near impossible.
Yeah.
So they want to do it. And they're going to let the bankruptcy courts wipe away 30,000 of the debt. Oh, aren't we helping you? Well, folks, the program's got to be canceled. Anybody think about that? That's, it's giveaway. Obama wants to give everybody's money away that's working.
So, Morry, let me tell you so you get out of college, you got 30,000 in debt, and so you just declare bankruptcy and it's all gone?
It's all gone. Well,
what a deal.
The government will pay your lawyer, too, because you don't have enough money for a lawyer, so the court will appoint, because you got to have a lawyer.
So we wonder why we're broke.
Wonder why. The American Bar Association is just sucking on the government. And now we got Uncle Joe goes all beast mode on Senate Republicans. We talked about this earlier, about the letter that was sent. Well, our Vice President, Biden, he can't. It's 36 years in the Senate. This never happened. Well, we understand you don't remember much, Joe, because you're fondling the ladies. You're out there talking. You just love to smile and talk. Hear yourself talk. What about in 2007, when Speaker Nancy Pelosi flew over to meet the Syrian dictator Assad in an effort to push the Bush administration to have dialogue with the dictator? A move the White House rejected. You remember that? Oh, well, we have to do this. He's such a good man and everything. Why don't you, I don't know why, but they all got amnesia. I think it's from Nancy. She's had so many facelifts. Why can California keep sending these idiots there?
Morry, I got a question on this. So Nancy Pelosi flew over there, met with this dictator, and got in the middle of Bush's negotiations over there, and now they're upset because Republicans sent a letter?
You got it. And then how about 2002? Democrats went to Baghdad in an effort to undermine George W. Bush's case for a war in Iraq. How about in 1990 when George H.W. Bush was organizing opposition to Iraq for invading Kuwait? President Jimmy Carter wrote a letter to the UN trying to kill the effort. The only thing about Carter was our worst president ever. Obama moved him up a notch. Okay? So let's just tell Biden, keep the hands off the ladies. Start taking ginkgo or whatever that helps the memory. Or just retire, would you? Now, the next thing, number 5. Climate change will wipe out Starbucks. The head of EPA, Gina McCarthy, this week warned 70% of Americans who start their day with coffee, that morning cup of Joe, was in grave danger. Ms. McCarthy stated the coffee's temperature-sensitive crop that climate change puts the world's coffee growing at risk. She made these statements only after saying that the conflict in Syria was caused by climate change.
What?
It's apparent that nothing to do with a brutal dictator who repeatedly murdered thousands of its citizens with chemical weapons. Rather, McCarthy claims it was a drought brought on by climate change. She might be onto something. I guess that's the reason Obama eased his red line in Syria when Assad started using chemical weapons. Obama realized Assad wasn't to blame. It was only climate change. Now, I'm not joking, folks. This is who's running the EPA. So this is their war on coal.
Yeah.
These people are just Looney Tunes, okay? In the newspaper, if you want to watch NBC, CBS, and ABC, they look at them like, oh, they're all messiahs. I tell you, like I said before, we don't want anybody coming from the east or the west coast in government. Saltwater is shorter than the brain zone. Number 6, Kerry State Department says Iran deal is non-binding.
Wait
Now,
a minute.
Yeah, that's what it says. In the turn of events, John Kerry and the State Department stated the deal they were negotiating with Iran over nuclear weapons was non-binding. Instead, they termed the deal executive to executive, but said it was enforceable. First of all, it's not binding. What in the hell are we negotiating for? The Iranians haven't even complied with the binding agreements. What makes you think they would agree to a non-binding? I mean, this guy's got a mop of hair. There's no brains in there. There's fertilizer in there, okay? Let him go sail the sailboat. By executive, I assume they're talking about Ayatollah to King Obama.
Boy, what a deal.
I bet you that works out, okay? It's a train wreck. This whole thing is, you know, Bibi said it right for Israel. You know, the best thing to do is put the friggin' sanctions on, squeeze those mullahs until they squawk, okay? That's what we should do. Those are my Grizz growls. And, you know, I should say, well, this falls right into...
Before you get into that, we're going to be going to break, and we're going to come back with...
I'm going to change this next week, kids. We're only going to have 3 breaks an hour, okay? 20, 20, 20, all right? I had a guy that told me that was the way it's going to be done, but he was so excited about going to Disney World, okay?
Yeah, he certainly was. He's going to be there tomorrow.
He didn't get it done.
Sounds good, folks. Come back and see us. We'll be right back.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in Grizz Nation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road low and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
If you work in Washington, you better duck. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join Grizz Nation. And we're back with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. Got Ken here. And Ken, you got some tweets. Why don't you read off 3 of them, and we'll answer them.
Okay, we got 3 tweets. Starts off with Roy. Writes, Obama is a traitor to his own country.
What's the next one?
Rick on Twitter writes, I think Valerie Jarrett is working Obama like a puppet.
What's the next one?
Next one is Marshall's writing, clearly the Oval Office has been compromised, and he's got that as Jarrett is a spy.
Well, out of 3 we just read, our little lady who was born in Iran, Valerie Jarrett, popped up twice, you know. Well, there's no question she has, in their adult life, business life, she's been a power within the Obama, not only with him, but with Michelle. And, you know, the problem everybody has is that I wouldn't call Obama a traitor because he's been elected twice, folks. So there was an awful lot of votes he got. And he got more than anybody that the Republicans threw up against him. So, you know, maybe he lied, maybe he did everything. But he got elected, and he's our president. And nobody wants to bash him around more than I do. You got to give the man credit. He can smile. He can talk. And, you know, squirm through the worst. And he's more pleasant to look at and listen to than Hillary. So, but his views, he doesn't tell you. Because that's part of his nature. But if you looked into it, you would have known that. And the media covered it up. So, if you really are upset with it, don't get upset with him. Just don't ever buy a New York Times. Don't go out and watch the TVs. Go on the net. And actually, the you know, NBC, ABC, and CBS, you know, they got their airwaves. They've been there, so that's all free. You know, just turn around, look at the advertisers. Send them an email. You're not going to buy nothing because they advertised on that. Trust me. Money talks and BS walks, okay?
Well, Morry, you're lighting up the Twitter world out here. We got three more. You want to get to those?
Do all three of them. We'll go three more.
Okay. Andy says, how do these people make it in our government? They would never last in the private sector. This is the product of a great university.
Yeah. Well,
or our great universities.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Next one is Marty. Goes so far as to say, the devil has many disciples. And then Rob on Twitter says, don't forget about the benefits that he's taking from veterans.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to go backwards. On veterans, the first thing is the Veterans Administration should be under our Department of Defense. It's their warriors. Let them. Now, what does that do? That gives them the doctors, that gives them the care, and you're not under a civil servant situation. You're under the military now. Rules and regs. So you fall asleep, you know, you're going to pay a price for it, okay? You do something wrong, you can pay a price. That's how you get warriors, our wounded warriors, good service. Not all this other BS, but you see, you got all the congressmen and everybody want to get into it. So let's just straighten it up. First thing is Senate and the House, they should meet no more than 2 times every quarter. What the hell we need them all these meetings, okay? See, the next thing about the devil and all of his disciples, you know, I don't spend a lot of time on that, okay? It's pretty simple. Read the Constitution. You know, there's right from wrong, but I'm not going to get into that. And what was the first one on Obama?
The first one was, how do these people make it in our government? They would never last in the private sector.
Well,
and then blames our university system.
But I agree with you on the universities. The universities have brainwashed everybody that in order to succeed in life, you got to come here and we're going to make you smart. No, you aren't. They've never created a brain cell. Thank your parents or a relative, okay? And if you want to try that, you look at Ben Carson. You look at Ben Carson. He was the neurosurgeon for children, pediatric neurosurgeon, I believe what he was. But you look at him. You look at the history of what his mother, the job she done, the discipline she raised with him, but with the love. That's what brought him up. It wasn't any university. It was the push from there. You can go get it. The men who signed your Declaration of Independence, I doubt, in fact, I could almost be 100% sure, they never went to college. Okay? Richest man in the world, he didn't go. So, is it nice? Yes. But has it gotten, hyped up? Way out of bounds. And they've gotten thinking that they're better than everything else. You have them so they have tenure. Tenure? It's a joke. You don't have that in the real world. You only have it in the academic world. That's really stupid. And you should just get rid of it. So, we got rid of the tweets, right?
Well, we're caught up with tweets now, but
right.
Please give us a call.
Or give us-
855-984-7499. We'd love to hear from you. Agree or disagree, give us a call.
Now, right on what we're talking and what you're tweeting about, the lost confidence in our government. You speak of the losing confidence. There's a new study out that shows, surprisingly, that Americans have a record low lack of confidence.
What's surprising
in all
about that?
forms of our government? Well, just 11% of Americans have confidence in the presidency. And, that is a shame. But that's because the person who's sitting there. Then I want to know, a lot of you voted for him. The 44% who say they have hardly any confidence in the executive branch is an all-time high. Some 2 in 10 hardly have any confidence in the Supreme Court. I can understand that because you got 4 justices that don't understand when they read the Constitution. They think it means this, It's like Clinton's. What is the meaning of it is, And then, as expected, everyone dislikes Congress. Well, but Congress has a 97% re-election. So, I've said here to all of you, well, San Francisco, what in the hell are you keep sending Nancy back for? Huh? Look up at Minnesota. How can you send those 2 senators? I don't even want to get into the congressionals, but how can you send a jokester and this other woman in? And then look at who you had from Washington, the state of Washington. Your senator. When they were in charge, she was the head of appropriations.
Yeah.
I mean, are you all smoking dope out there?
Harry, Morry, what they say is that everybody hates Congress, but they like their congressman.
Yeah, well, then you can't hate the whole thing. What you're trying to say is that the people who elected Schumer, the people that Illinois elected Durbin, I mean, come on. They got the votes. So you just got to get off your tough. You got to email them. Email them and call them up. They get all nervous when they hear from a bunch of you. All right? Over half have said they have any confidence. 7% of Democrats, 5% of independents, 3% of Republicans say they have a lot of confidence in Congress.
Oh, that's low numbers.
Yeah. You can tell that at least the Republicans are more honest. The Democrats are really, 7%. I mean, let's face it, folks. If you got 7% of you Democrats out there, you're in bad shape, okay? No one believes in me that either. I agree there. And they better learn how to get their fanny going. I'm tired of the spin. You're all tired of the spin. That's why we're doing GrizzNation. We're going to try to tell you the way it really is. And if you want to know how to fix it, I'm going to tell you how to fix it. You might not agree with me. If you don't, pick up the phone, call, or text us. We'll try to get through all the BS, tell you how it is. But it's at an all-time low. And that's a shame. It's a real, real shame. And, they got this timer on us, and they boom, boom, he covered up his little tweets. All right. So we got a moment here before
We got
I
2
start.
minutes before the break.
All right. What we're going to talk about is in the paper this week. It's about U.S. Steel is having to idle a mine that they mine ore up in Minnesota. And so over 400 people are being laid off, and they're shuttering the plant on May 13th. Now, the reason for this is because of the high importation of iron ore, the reduction of steel going to steel mills, so there'll be layoffs there too. And you got to sit here and think, why? Why? These people work hard, they do things. Yes, our dollar has gone up. But you see, this goes back to Hillary and Bill. There's no duty on this stuff. And if you don't put a duty, you're going to end up with everything gone. Everything, folks. And people are going to say, oh, well, we can get our iPhone cheaper. Your iPhone don't create, from a manufacturing, a lot of jobs. Point blank and simple. And we can talk all about all this other goofy garbage, but it comes down to jobs. And how do you get jobs in this country? And going to the university is fine for a few if you got friends. But we're going to talk about this when you come back. Call us at 855-984-7499. Get in the discussion. Talk to you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Hi, I'm Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson. I want to make sure you know about the March of Dimes, March for Babies. This walk is really special to me. I was born with an APGAR score of 0, which is not an ideal way to start. Every day, babies start life the same way, with the odds stacked against them. Their first steps are made possible by ours, all of ours. Take the first step at marchforbabies.org. Let's walk together for stronger, healthier babies.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Not safe for work if you're a bureaucrat. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to talk with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. And when we went to break, we were talking about a U.S. steel plant that's going to be shut down May 13th because of the high level of imports, unfair trade products, and reduced steel products. Most of that stuff is coming in from China, India, and South Korea. It's basically illegally dumped. And their people are going to work. Our people are not going to work. Now, there are other people who will tell you, well, we're going to get that steel cheaper. Yeah, you get that steel cheaper, but eventually there's no job. You want to understand why the middle class is down? It's trade, folks. It's simple. Trade. Not professors, not the government. It's trade. Our country was built on tariffs. All right? That's a fact. And here's something else you better remember. When you see that big Harley go down the street, Harley was going to be gone. The Japanese with the motorcycles was taking that business. No ands, if, buts about it. So it was President Reagan who put an embargo. No bikes coming from any place that were over 699 cc's. Now you look at Harley today. Now let me have somebody tell me how that hurt our country. Now, the next thing. You want to talk about automotive? You want to talk about South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, all the places, Texas, that you have car companies? You didn't have any of them prior to Reagan turning around. And why? Reagan capped the amount of imported cars. He didn't put a duty on them. He just capped them. And then he told everybody, you want to produce in our market? You come on over here. But you're going to have to produce and put assembly plants and produce it here. And that's what brought it in to America. Why Chrysler and GM went belly up is real simple. It was because the UAW, they were a monopoly, and they had what I call the communist thinking, and they really didn't care. If Obama had thought one thing when they went into bankruptcy, he would have told the UAW, there's no more unions that can have a whole industry. So UAW got Ford. U.S. Steel, General Motors, you got the United Steelworkers. I would also then give Chrysler, say the Teamsters. It's just like all of our ports. You know, when the ports were all shut down and everybody, average wage income there is well over $100,000.
It's like 180.
Pushes $200,000 when you got their benefits, and they're on strike. They're on strike. Cost the country billions. This is stupid. This is totally stupid. Now,
I got a question.
They got a
on this.
monopoly. You can't have a monopoly in business, and we got our government going to sue every company that tries to do it. But if a union's out, that's okay. That's okay. We got our government. Unions cannot bargain for wages in the federal government by law. But you want to know why our government don't work? It's all unionized. Well, why would they have to pay dues? Because that's how the Democratic Party gets their money. You know, the whole thing is crooked. And you better wake up, America, because it's the truth. And if you don't, then it's only a matter of time. And what's going to happen? Take a look at Europe. Europe right now, you've seen the currency drop, the EU. Well, the EU was a false to start with. Why? Because each government, you got the Germans, you got the French, you got the Brits, you got the Italians, they're all different, have been different for ages. And they have their own national government. They all speak a different language. The only common language in all of Europe is English. What do? They get a bunch of elitists who said, well, we got to be like the United States, the EU of the European Commonwealth. Oh, yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Oh, we'll go to Brussels and we're going to start another government. We're going to elect members. All they have done is put another level. They just went and built a building on top of more buildings. So what does that take? More taxes. That's what it takes. So you only get taxes, really, from people who work outside of government. Oh, I got government workers. I got to pay taxes too. I got to pay taxes. But wait a minute. The money that paid you has to come from those people. You don't generate squat for the economy. And that's how it works, folks. It's not real complicated. So, and the people who don't work, that is pure BS. If they're able-bodied, then, and they need help, our country and us have always welcomed to help them. But to help them to sit and just have cable and TV and give them their cell phone for they can play games, that is BS. You have to put pride back in people that work. And that's what you got to do. We got 11 million people out of work. You got all these immigrants coming in from the Mexican border and every place else. It's simple. All you got to do is tell the president of Mexico, you're going to stop the choo-choo trains. You're going to stop the trucks coming across with all the goods for the U.S. Mexico becomes a big standstill. Trust me. He didn't want riots down there. They would seal that border. And that's what you got to do. There's so many things that are so simple to do. But you see, it's politics. And that's where we got a problem. You got to get involved. All of you out there, call in, send us tweets, but you got to get involved. And you can't turn around and just blame people. I appreciate you can get flustered on the politicians. And if you listen to all the talking heads, but they don't tell you how to solve a problem. You see, most of our best people, men or women, that could run things in the government, they don't want to do it because they don't want to have the personal be tore apart, okay? And a lot of it is fake. So you turn around and we got a problem. And we don't have a lot of years to solve this. I mean, I told people yesterday, we'll get through our current president. He's going to do a lot of damage to this country. What's going on in the Middle East? Truthfully, it's terrible. But the ugly thing is, you can't go in and be nice. If you try to go in there and be real nice, you're going to get a lot of innocent Americans killed. If you want to end it, you're going to have to kill a lot of innocent them. Now, if it comes to whether we kill a few more Americans to try to save them, I'm not for that. All right? I don't want to spend American blood anyplace. And so I'd blow them away. But who do you go after to blow away? You want to blow away those fools that are doing all the atrocities up on the front line? No. They're not the people ordering it. You got to go hit the master. Who are you going to hit? We've went since Jimmy Carter. You've had the Ayatollahs in Iran. It was Ronald Reagan. I go back to him. Omar Gaddafi. He was in his tent. His young daughter got killed because he was sleeping where he got roughed up a little bit. But we blew that sucker up. Why haven't we ever done it to Iranians? They call us every name. They've killed Americans, everything. How many times would you have to, put one of our little cruise missiles, down their stack and kind of blow it to hell? Oh, they'd be all so upset. Okay, what the hell are they going to do about it? All right, we're nuts. We have elected people have no guts. Now, you got a caller.
I got a caller. Emily from Omaha. You got a question for
Hi,
Morry?
Emily. Omaha. Welcome, my Nebraska girl.
That's me.
What do you want to know?
Okay, do you really think that this Texas judge can stop this amnesty program? Because no one else seems to be able to stop Obama.
I got to have you repeat it because they had me turned down.
Okay, yeah. Do you really think that this Texas judge can stop the amnesty program? Because no one else seems to be able to stop Obama.
Well, the problem, do I think he can? Yes, I really think he can. I think even Obama knows that if he turns around and you got a federal judge that gave that stay, and then he turns around and he tells the immigration department to violate that judge's order, man, you got to really be a dumb person, because every one of those people should have some good legal advice to say, hey, you got a federal judge, Obama can fire you, judge can put your fanny in jail. So I actually believe he can. And then if Obama just goes about it, then the federal judge lists an order that stays. The next thing happens, you got appeal court. Obama can go appeal court, but the appeal court's not going to touch that thing. They're all going to just sit there and say, hey, that's how our system is set. So, I appreciate it was the president who, because of a federal judge, put the troops down when George Wallace decided he was going to block. That was a federal judge. Federal judge can put U.S. Marshals. They're bad, dear. They're bad. I don't think he would try that. Anyhow, we got to go. So give us some call. And thank you, dear, from Omaha. Good question.
We got our last caller coming up, so our last segment, so come back and see us.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in GrizzNation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road low and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Uh-oh. Grizz Nation is back. Now nobody in Washington is safe. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join the conversation. Now here's Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. And if you didn't get that number, 855-984-7499. You got a tweeter there.
Yeah, we
Ken?
got a tweeter. Joe on Twitter says, well, Grizz, there is only so much Americans can do. We thought we'd found this answer this last November. I assume he's talking about the Republicans taking over. But that has been very disappointing. So what is your solution?
Well, the first thing is I wouldn't get too disappointed. I mean, you're listening to the media and everything, But, and it upsets me that McConnell and a few of the Republicans felt that they should put back in to the Senate the way it had been for 100 years, even though Dingy Harry, who's caused a lot of this crap, had done away with it. Well, I actually believe that, they probably should have been an eye for an eye, You want to do away with it, you dumb Democrats, then fine. But I think they were trying to put back what they thought in the Senate, and that's what you're really seeing, because the House has done a good job. The House has been passing the stuff, and, the Senate just couldn't get it through. And, of course, Obama has vetoed the Keystone. But they almost overrode him. And I honestly believe if more of the American public turned around and didn't have such a distaste and turned around and actually pounded on some of those senators, and actually from the states they're in, trust me, I think it would have had effect, and you'd pick up the other 5. And I think once that happened, if they ever said they were going to change, then I think Obama would come around. I don't think his ego is, he doesn't want to be trumped. He's a bad loser. He just bad as hell like that. So that's my my take on it. So
well, I got a couple of questions now. You think the House is doing a good job? I mean, they had to have Democrats to pass the Homeland Security bill.
Well, that is because what Obama was going to do was the same as everything, they were going to go use and do what the hell he wanted and blame everything the other way. So it wasn't going to go. And what were they going to gain when you got a federal judge? A federal judge has a hell of a lot more power than a bunch of damn congressmen.
Well, that's true, but I mean, I think we ought to just shut it down. I mean,
well, you can't shut the damn thing down because Homeland Security has a hell of a lot more stuff besides just the Border Patrol.
Yeah, but all they do is furlough the non-essential people, and that was only 13%. 87% of them would still be working. That was a false claim, Grizz.
No, they would work, but they wouldn't get a paycheck.
Oh, come on. They always get paid.
Eventually. They always get. But what he would do is he would take those people, and Obama runs the thing. Congress don't. He would have moved all those over.
I thought we had 3 branches of government.
No, well, you used to, but since, hey, you didn't have 3 branches with Clinton. The whole thing American people better understand is the Democratic Party today, I said this earlier. Look at Ferguson. Look at New York. Every place there's a problem and it's run like crap, just look at Chicago. They're going to have a vote. And that's bad and worse, okay, what's over there.
That could be an interesting election up there.
But what happens is you got to think about it. They can't govern. Detroit, biggest bankruptcy you ever seen. They're back in charge now, but hey, still the same electorate out there. They're trying, but as long as you have Democrats in the power, it's not going to work. Never has. Never has. And, you want to go back. You in your lifetime have never seen the Democrats work it out. You want to go to Lyndon Johnson? Bad. Kennedy wasn't bad, but truthfully at that time. But you look at, but he even fell back. The Bay of Pigs, I mean, that was a fiasco, okay? Yeah, well, when you say you're going to support somebody, you support them. You could have knocked off Castro, wouldn't have to listen to all this crap, okay, for 50 years. We got a caller?
We got a caller, Wayne from Philly. You on the line with us?
How you doing, Wayne? What's your question?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Oh, yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good.
What I'm wondering is I really don't get the Iranian deal. One day they're terrorists, the next day we're negotiating with them over nuclear arms. And don't they sponsor terrorism all over the Middle East? And I'll take my answer out the air.
Okay, well, you summed it up pretty good, my friend. Yes, they sponsor terrorism. They have done that since Jimmy Carter's was president. And, you know, what happened is most people don't realize there was a big war between Iran and Iraq. That over 1 million people got killed. But part of that, guess who the Americans supported? Hussein. Okay? He was our man. All right? And I'm not going to get up into all the other reasons what happened after that. But the situation is that I think afterwards somebody should have just took a B-2 and did the same thing we did with Colonel Gaddafi. You wouldn't have had the problem that we have today. We should have just choked them. You know, Saudi Arabia don't want them. They're a dictatorship that's worse than anything. It's a religious dictatorship. So what you got now is at some point you're going to have to take out the religious rulers. There's no ands, if, buts about it. So, you're not going to have them give up the power. And that's how I see it. And, it's to run around and try to chase all the snakes back into their hole. And then they dig a hole someplace else. You can't do things when you go to exert power. You have to do it with a force that accomplish the goal, the mission. And we just don't want to do it. We just want to, tiptoe through the tulips like little Tiny Tim. You might not remember him, but he was always on the Johnny Carson show.
Most people try not to remember him.
I understand. But that's how they are. That's how liberals are. We're going to tiptoe to the tulips. So, I appreciate the call, but I wouldn't be negotiating. Okay, you got a tweeter here.
Well, Joe, he's back on the tweet line, and he's thinking about this, Morry. He says, Morry, this is a new Joe, excuse me. Morry, when you're coming down to the brass tacks, when are you coming down to the brass tacks of it all? The American taxpayer wants it all. American people want the purse taken from Congress and given back to the people. Credits, Medicare, loan forgiveness. We're facing $18.5 trillion debt. Why don't politicians get it under control? It's leverage for campaign funds.
Well, yes and no. The first thing is, we're not 18 trillion in debt. You better put a big number. You better start looking at 100 trillion. Because you see, here's what nobody tells you. None of the politicians or nobody. The simple facts are this. You know how many government workers there are today? There's approximately 3 million. Now, where is their funds for their retirement? Where are the funds for those who have already? Lois Lerner, who's collecting over 100,000. All these other wackos. Where's all the funds come from? There's no piggy bank. There's no safe deposit. They've robbed it all. Where's our Social Security funds? They were robbed. Lyndon Johnson started robbing it. All that money is gone. So, they need your tax dollars to pay those who are already gone. Now, we have an Obama administration. For 4 years, you had Hillary. All Hillary did was run around raising money for her and Bill, their foundation, which I think their travel bill was like $10 million. These people are nothing but sick, okay? They're power hungry and sick.
Well, they've got $2 billion in this thing.
Well, that's what they raised.
Yeah.
But they're broke. They're always broke. Now, what you have to understand, She was Secretary of the State. So she proved that you don't need to be spending 60-some billion dollars with them. That is a joke. Now you got long-haired fertilizer head, Kerry, and he's proved for sure. None of them, they're the head of the State Department. You don't even need this department. You look at all the departments. We just talked about the EPA. Now all the problems in the world are climate change. How dumb are these people? How dumb? I'm an engineer. You know the globe we're on? It's this planet is 4 billion years. And it was a ball of fire. And it's been cooling down. Not heating up, cooling down. They don't even, nobody. Here, I got one question for all you. You know how we rotate? The moon rotates around us, and we rotate around our sun. And you know Mars rotates it. You know all the other planets. Well, now, folks, our universe is from the magnetic draw planets. If they get too close or something, boom, they collide. But we all go around the sun. Our sun has to rotate around something else. Please, text me, tell me, what do we revolve around? Because you see, I've asked a lot of people. We've never been able to find it. Never. So there's the thing for you. Go ask these great learned ones, okay? Climate change. Who thinks that we can change the climate?
Well, Morry, that wraps up another 2 hours of Grizz Nation.
Thank you, everybody. You have a great, great week. See you next week.